everyone, my name is Karen from the Grace Public Library. I'm so excited to bring the Tween Book Club to you while you're at home. So thank you so much for watching this video. Over the past few days, I've read a few books and I've listened to a few books that I was able to download through Hoopla. So today I'm going to book talk some of my favorite books that I've read and listened to. All of these items you can download at home with your library card, so make sure you have that handy. So today I want you to sit back, relax, and listen to some of my reviews. My hope is that you find something really good to read at home, and I can't wait to see you guys in person soon. Okay, you ready? I know a lot of you love graphic novels and comic books, so the first book that I chose to review and to tell you about is a comic book. And it's called Drew and Dot Dueling Doodles. And the author is Art Baltazar. He's actually a really cool guy. I was looking at his website and his YouTube channels, and he's really creative. He writes and illustrates for some of the DC comics, which I'm sure most of you guys enjoy if you like graphic novels. He also is the writer and illustrator of the Tiny Titans series, which we do have at the library, so I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. So I do have my laptop for some notes because I want to make sure I don't forget anything that I want to tell you about these books. So this story is actually about a 5th grade student, Andrew, and he's very shy at first. He meets a new friend because they find out that they both really enjoy drawing and writing in their sketchbooks. So they are comic book creators in their own sense. So they become friends by actually creating a crossover comic book together. Their characters actually jump right off the page into each other's stories, which is really neat. I wanted to tell you about my favorite character in this comic book, and it was one of the monsters that Foz, which is the other 5th grade student in the comic book, created. He created the fantastic Cat-tastic, and you can tell just with that word Cat-tastic that this monster was a cat. And as you know, I love cats, so that was my favorite monster in this comic book. You'll have to read the comic book to find out all about the different types of monsters. Some of them are extremely silly, so I know you'll get a good laugh out of it. I also wanted to share with you my favorite quote that was in the comic book. So I actually wrote it down here for you. This was a quote explaining Dr. Danger. And Dr. Danger is the evil character in this story. So this says, the most evilest evil to ever evil. I thought that was a really fun quote from this comic book. So you can just imagine what this character was like. I also want to encourage you to doodle while you're at home. I actually doodled my own idea for a comic book that I might write and draw, and this is my character. It's a spider who has balloons and a birthday hat on. I thought this might be kind of a neat idea for a character in a comic book. So I encourage you at home to kind of grab some crayons, markers, and create something that you might include in your own comic book story. Going back to the story, I want to tell you about the turning point of the book, which I thought was when Andrew's sister stole his comic book sketchbook and actually drew in the book her own ideas on how to save some of the characters. So this comic book's really neat because it's real life with the characters, and then it goes back into kind of an imaginary life between what the 5th grade students are drawing in their comic book. So this book is available on Hoopla, so you can download this book if you're interested. Again, I'll show you how to do that at the end. Sideways Stories from Wayside School by Louis Sacker. I chose this book because it was one of my favorite books when I was a kid your age. It's so funny. The characters are hilarious. I think you'll really enjoy this book. In this book, the students all go to school in a large school that's 30 stories high, but each class is on one story. So it's really funny. The building was also built sideways like this, And the builder said, "Oh, we didn't mean to do that. We're so sorry." So it's just a really funny concept that the kids have to go to school and follow all of these really funny, wacky rules that the teachers have for the kids. I wanted to tell you about one of my favorite characters in this story, and her name is Marisa, and she loves ice cream in the story. So each chapter is dedicated to one of the students or teachers at this school. So her chapter is all about how she brings ice cream to school. She stores it in her desk at school. So imagine your desk being all sticky with this ice cream that keeps melting. That's what I imagined when I read this part of the book. In the story, she decides she doesn't like any of the ice cream flavors anymore. She didn't know what was happening. Everybody in her class doesn't love her, but most people do like her. So it's kind of funny when she realizes, wait a second, I don't like any of these ice cream flavors anymore. So the teacher in the story at the time is their new teacher, since something crazy happened to their original teacher, which you'll have to read to find out. It's very funny. So their new teacher, Mrs. Jules, decides to go home that night, and she makes a new type of ice cream flavor for her. And guess what? It's supposed to taste just like Marisa. And she decides she doesn't like it. So all of the kids are trying the ice cream flavors, and it's just really funny. So this is the type of story that you'll read for the different chapters in this book. You'll definitely find at least a few characters that you really love. They're very interesting. So please check out this book. It is available on Hoopla. I found myself laughing throughout this entire story, and you definitely will too. Michael Vey, The Prisoner of Cell 25 by Richard Paul Evans. This is a fantasy novel about a student named Michael, and he has Tourette's syndrome, but he also has a special superpower, an electric power. I really enjoyed this book because it was adventure and fantasy mixed together in one. And Michael, throughout the story, finds out that some of his friends from his high school also have superpowers. So they join together and they essentially fight a huge power group that's trying to take their powers away from them. So I found this book really interesting. I actually listened to this book on audio through Hoopla, which was really fun to do. The reader of the story was very engaging. I actually felt like I was watching a movie, which was really cool. I suggest reading this book if you like Percy Jackson, if you liked Harry Potter, really if you're interested in trying a fantasy novel. I really enjoyed this story. Biggest and smallest. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Guinness World Records books. We have a ton of copies at the library in the nonfiction section. There are also a lot of choices on Hoopla for you to download. This is just one title. I chose this book because the cover was really interesting and there were 300 facts included in the book. One of my favorite parts of this book was looking at all of the photographs and pausing and taking some time to read the captions. I thought this was a really interesting read. One of my favorite parts was about the life-size games. And this part reminded me of the last Tween book club that we had when we played the life-size Candyland game. That was so much fun. And the world record that I read about was about Twister. And I learned that in the Netherlands, they created the largest life-size Twister game. And it was over 24,000 feet long, which is pretty big. I really suggest that you check out these titles if you want a quick read and if you want to learn all about the fascinating world records that people have created. Now I'm going to show you how to access the Hoopla service using our website. I'm going to show you how to navigate using a computer and laptop. You can also download the Hoopla app for free on your tablet. So today, go ahead using your computer, type in greecepubliclibrary.org. This will bring you to our website. Next, you are going to scroll halfway down and you will click on eBooks and more. This will bring you to a page that offers all of our digital content that's free of charge 24/7. The first link is Hoopla. Notice it tells you that you can check out 5 items per month. Go ahead and click on Hoopla. This will prompt you to log in using your library card number. My computer recognizes my account, so I'm already logged in. If you notice halfway down the screen, these are some of the items that I have recently borrowed on Hoopla. I want to show you on the top part of the screen is that you can type in any title or author that you're looking for and click enter to see if it's available on the catalog. You can also browse by audiobook, movies, music, comics, ebooks, and television. Today, I wanted to highlight a special list that my colleague and I have worked on to create easy go-to ideas for items for you to download. I'm going to start by clicking on ebooks under Browse. So this page is bringing up some options. There's Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That might be a good one that you guys can read. I want to highlight the categories option. So if you click on categories, this is going to bring up some options for you. These are like book lists. Under the all categories option, you will find some special lists that we've created for you. The very first option here is hashtag Librarian Picks 2020 Tween Edition eBooks. Clicking that will bring up some options. These are some great reads for you, designed for kids your age. Let's say you want to download Because of Winn-Dixie. You would simply click on the book cover. It brings up some information. You will then click Borrow. You will have 21 days to read this book, and then it is returned off of your device. You would then simply click Borrow Title. I want to go back and show you the special category that we created for audiobooks. If you go up to Browse, you will click Audiobooks. Again, you will look under All Categories and select the first option, hashtag Librarian Picks 2020 Tween Edition e-audiobooks. These are some special audiobooks that we've created in a list for you to navigate and look through. So don't forget, while you're trying Hoopla, you can search for items on the top part of the screen. And I really hope you enjoyed the book talks today and that you're going to try accessing some of our digital items. I can't wait to see you guys soon at the library. Thank you.